Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you have pen and paper because I'm going to explain to you something that you weren't aware of.
What is my problem?
What's up, everybody? We are coming to you from an undisclosed location in an underground bunker. Tyler, why are you laughing at me? I'm trying to intro the show. And you're crying. You're giggling so hard.
Oh, man.
'Cause this is like the third take.
Uh-huh. I'm good.
All right.
I just thought of what we've been talking about the last, 20 minutes and how stupid we've been. So
Yeah. We gotta get it out now. So this is Tinfoil Radio. This is the podcast they don't want you to hear.
Yeah.
We're tackling all the serious topics because we're truth seekers, and we all know that the government is just a bunch of reptilians. I know I pronounced it wrong.
There's a lot of government documents and memos, interoffice memos with our names on it.
And then
On them.
see if you look closely at the back of their head, there's a zipper. They're wearing human skin suits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's going to be fun, covering reptiles running our government.
You know, and it was famously documented in the documentary miniseries in the 80s called V. That was real. No special effects. Because otherwise those were really shitty special effects.
Didn't they reboot it?
Yeah, but nobody watched it because honestly, if you
We're good. Well, we gotta get back on track here.
we'll talk about it another
'Cause,
time.
yeah.
When we talk about that show, that topic, that's when we'll talk about the V.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to the topic at hand. Take it away, Jake.
Thanks, Tyler.
Shh,
Just because the government's listening.
He'd call me Nighthawk.
I forgot the other name.
Oh. You know what's stupid? We watch that movie every fucking weekend.
Yeah.
Every weekend.
This is the show that I've always wanted to do. It's a show about conspiracy theories and all the silliness that goes into it. And we're not just going to be covering stories. We're also going to go in depth on Alex Jones, Bill Cooper, maybe some Art Bell.
Ooh.
Because, say what you will about Art Bell. And Coast to Coast AM is, I don't know, it's got a weird appeal to it. Because there's some stuff where I'm enjoying it, it's entertaining, it's great radio.
Mm.
And there's other stuff that I just I don't care about this. It's the Illuminati pyramids.
Okay, so I think there's three hosts because there was Art Bell and then there's George Norrie.
Yeah.
And then there's another guy who's been doing it lately. George Norrie.
There's a bunch of
I can't remember.
rotating hosts, but
they never sound hokey. When they're talking about stuff that I don't believe in, hey, tonight on Coast to Coast we have a psychic.
yeah.
Oh, give me a break. But when they talk about it, it's okay, well, I know that it's not real, but you believe it, and I don't want to punch you in the face for it.
No, it's fun. It's a fun show. I enjoy it. And that's kind of what led me to doing this, because I've always wanted to talk about conspiracy theories. I think I would say a couple years ago is when I really started to follow the living meme that is Alex Jones. And that's a guy that is a complete idiot, but damn, is he entertaining.
He's fun.
He's a bigot, he's a full-blown racist and anti-Semite.
Oh, God.
But it's just funny to think that people still listen to this guy. People still follow. It's sad on one hand, but on the other hand, it's there can't be real people that like this guy. But Alex Jones was an inspiration on me. Bill Cooper, I'm starting to learn more about. And Man, is he an interesting character.
Mhm.
He called Alex Jones fake. He's like, you're a con man. I'm actually spreading the truth. Bill Cooper really believed that reptilians were running the government, and he wrote a whole book about it called Beyond.
V.
I think it's Beyond a Pale Horse. Beyond, no, it's not V. But we'll definitely cover that at some point.
The
We'll talk
true
about that
story.
book. Yeah, the real story.
The real story
behind the lizard government.
V.
Also, he hated the IRS, which I can kind of relate to. But those were inspirations.
If I had more of a say in what our taxpayer dollars were like go to, like, real time. I'm not talking about, well, that's what your vote is for. No, I'm not talking about we'll get into that another time. But if I did,
I'm just saying, make the
I don't
roads
mind
better.
paying taxes as long as they go blah blah blah.
Anyway,
yeah,
we'll talk about him. But those are all the inspirations behind wanting to do a show. And I don't know, it's always been a passion of mine to talk about conspiracy theories because they're so much fun. I just find it interesting that the lengths that people will go to try to explain the world that they live in. And that concept interests me enough. And I think that's what this podcast is going to be about. We're probably going to make fun of people, but we're going to do our best to use the humor in, like, why would anybody, like, not making fun, but, like, how does someone get caught up in this? And how could somebody start to believe it? You know what I mean? Because they're fun stories.
Yeah.
And we'll go down so many. And some of you probably already heard about, but that's what we're doing. Tinfoil Radio, Conspiracy Podcast, Episode 1. Now, Tyler, how we're going to do this show.
Okay.
I'm going to present you a conspiracy theory. Could be common, could be this one that's super obscure, and I thought it'd be great to start the show with. Or, yeah, pretty much those two, and then maybe something I could find about, Alex Jones or Bill Cooper or whatever. Point is, I will give you the information, but you're not going to know anything about the episode.
Okay.
You're coming in completely blind. You don't even know what this topic is, do you?
Nope.
Exactly. So that's going to be the fun of the show.
I'm excited because if anything, I'm really good at reacting.
That's why I wanted to do the show with you. You're a great reactor.
What?
Whoa!
That was a taste right there.
You are good. All right, so let's get into this. Episode 1 of Tinfoil Radio is going to be called Birds Aren't Real. So this is a fun story that I stumbled into.
Okay.
Originally, the first episode was going to be Flat Earth.
Okay.
But I decided to push that down because birds aren't real.
I've heard vague rumblings, but please continue, yes.
The overview of the conspiracy theory is that boiling it down to the simplest form, the government killed off all the birds and replaced them with surveillance drones. So when you see a bird, it's actually a surveillance drone. It's not really a bird.
Whatever it is, I ain't touching it. Filthy, filthy animals.
No, you'll be like the pigeon lady in Home Alone 2.
I hate birds.
Birds freak me out, man.
They're fun to like look at from afar or like on TV. But like
up close, they're scary animals.
Dude, Iowa City. I grew up in Iowa City, and geese are considered birds, right?
Yeah, they fly.
Yeah, but you ever seen like roaming packs of like geese in like a city or something like that?
They're mean.
Forget those guys.
Geese are dicks.
They
man.
will bite you, and
they'll hunt you down.
And when they poop, it looks like somebody threw out a glass of dirty water.
I thought it'd be white like other birds.
No, I was walking behind a goose one time and just yeah.
Anyway,
filthy. Back to the topic.
So birds aren't real. The origins of this, and this is according to their website, birdsaren'treal.com. They also have a YouTube channel, which we will reference because there's some just great material there.
Sweet.
So, according to the website, birdsaren'treal.com, the real beginning of this cover-up starts in the 1950s.
I see.
The newly founded CIA was doing everything they could to stop the quote-unquote Red Scare. CIA Director Alan Dulles, I believe?
Dulles.
Dulles?
Dulles.
How do you know that?
because he's Dulle. He's a very big part of the JFK conspiracy.
Oh man, I can't wait. That episode will happen.
Depending on which conspiracy you're talking about, you know what I mean?
That's like a whole 5-part series.
But I believe he was something. I think he was the head of CIA, right? Alan Dulles.
Yeah.
He was also head of the OSS, or he was in the OSS, which is the precursor to CIA. Started in World War II.
Well,
Mhm,
an interesting note here: CIA Director Alan Dulles
Dulles. Mhm.
met with President Eisenhower
Mm.
to talk about a new way of surveillance. Is it? I keep screwing this up.
Basically say the word.
Dullest.
Say the word dull and then say the letter S. Dulles.
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 Dull S. Dulles. Yeah.
Dulles' pitch
Mm-hmm.
to the president.
Let's kill off the filthy, filthy creatures. That's how
Pretty
I.
much,
That's
yeah.
how I would have pitched
Pretty
it.
much, he's like, look, easy thing. We can just kill these things and replace them with robots. They won't even know.
Hey, Ike. I might have done it a little differently. Like, hey, Ike. Let's kill off those. This is not about surveillance. I just want to rid the world of those filthy, parasite-ridden
It's funny.
beggars.
It's funny you say that because apparently the president and his staff all hated birds as well. So they signed off on it. And by doing that, they said, we're cool with it because if you exterminate them, they can't poop on our cars and cause trouble. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Problem with that theory and that whole thing is that birds still poop on my car. So
Well, they got to keep up. My thing would be this.
so they make drones that poop on your car.
Maybe that's just them dropping excess memory.
Well, they are. I mean, to go into another rabbit hole,
Hard drives.
they are.
That's the thing.
They are reverse engineering Martian tech. Okay, so the fuel they use could be white. We got to do a fuel dump
there you go.
on the disgusting little pigeon
As you know,
in the park.
we can only do it on cars.
That just throws the whole. You know what though? That ruins that scene in Fight Club for me now. Yeah,
The bird?
where they put all the bird seed on top of the roof of the BMW, and then they come in the next day and all their cars are covered in bird poop.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
I know what you're talking about.
Well,
So, as we continue this story about
yes.
birds not being real,
Mm-hmm.
we have to talk about the act of extermination.
Oh yeah, how did they get it done? Was it DDT?
DDT. I'm so. You know what's funny is I know what that is, but my brain went to wrestling, the wrestling move DDT, not the thing that killed all those birds. Anyway, the act of extermination began on June 2nd, 1959. Operation Water the Country was born. So this was the secret and code name.
That sounds like the president getting on Air Force One and like every so often like
Water the
open
country.
up the door. I gotta take a piss.
We're gonna water the country.
I'm gonna water the country, yo.
Maybe it is.
Hey Ike, that's kind of weird. Stop calling me Ike. Who the hell told you my name was? Okay.
Anyway, it's best to just let you go sometimes.
I'll come back.
So the secret code name for the extermination was Water the Country.
Mhm.
And it was between 1959 to 1976.
Mm.
Over the next
That's
6
what?
years, the bird population was down 15%.
That sounds about how long a government operation would take.
It's true. It really is.
I see us being done with that overpass to Ames in early 2137. We just started,
Which
on
is
it.
ahead of schedule, honestly.
We just started. Listen, if you didn't want it to
Anyway.
balloon, yeah.
I got
No,
Sometimes
keep
I
going.
gotta cut
Keep
you off.
going. Keep going.
July 2nd, 1964 is a big day.
Okay. This is 6 years after the. Right.
Well, it officially started in 1959.
And what year is
In
it?
1959.
64.
Yeah.
So it's 5 years afterwards.
Yes.
'Kay.
There was a secret meeting at the Jefferson Building.
Mm-hmm.
The names of the people involved are unclear. However, there is a 6-minute recording of the meeting. The meeting was about the need for more aluminum,
What?
and more specifically, bauxite ore. It might be what it's called. It's BAUXITE.
Yeah, that's right. Bauxite. It sounds like a made-up word, but it's a real thing.
So, yes, it was.
It can be very valuable. At a certain point in history, if you had a bauxite mine, you were sitting on a bauxite
Well, that's the
mine.
thing. That they needed that ore.
I was going to
because
say sitting on a gold mine, but you're sitting on a bauxite mine. Where did my bauxite go? It's all gold
it's
now.
in the gold.
Damn it! All right, continue. Sorry. Bauxite.
No,
Yes.
that's. I didn't even know that was really a thing.
I'm
I had
not
to
sure
look that
what
up.
bauxite is.
It's just a really strong aluminum. So I think their mentality is, if this thing's going to be flying around major U.S. cities,
Yeah.
wreaking havoc, it's got to be durable. So it just
There's a lot of
happens-
14-year-olds out there with BB guns, guys,
It's true.
and
So-
they don't just shoot at squirrels.
Now we need to fast forward
Okay.
to the beginning of the Vietnam War.
Which was.
I don't know. Look it up. I'm giving you the story.
To be honest, you know what? Because it's tough to follow. Because until it was not a police action, we'll get into that in another episode. But yeah, you know what I mean. Like, when did the Vietnam War officially? I mean, come on. Do you want to start with the French entered what was called Indochina at the point? I mean, that's a whole other episode.
That's the thing too.
I want to say like
It just seems like an
68.
isolated incident. In the United
68
States.
maybe is when we committed, like, okay, now we're in the war, even though we'd been there like 8 years. Yeah. Anyway,
Or like
fast forward to the start of the Vietnam War.
Yes.
Whenever that is, look it up yourself, folks.
yeah,
It's
you
called
do
Google.
your own research.
It's called Google. Or Bing if you're
peasant.
poor.
Everybody just looks things up now.
I look up. I go to the internet on my Commodore 64. I have to use Bing.
You know, I'll get back to the story in a second.
Yes.
This reminds me. Do you know that the Razor's coming out? They're bringing back the Razor, and it flips shut, but it's a smartphone.
Oh my God.
It's so dumb, but I want it. Anyway, so we fast forward to the beginning of the Vietnam War,
Yes.
and you might be wondering, why that has anything to do with robot birds. I already explained it to you. Because I have the answer.
Idiot.
The nation of Vietnam contains the third largest reserve of bauxite ore on the entire planet.
That's, you know what? That's weird. It's kind of like how our invasion of Afghanistan after 9/11 and subsequent, occupation, like, it directly coincides with the, like, fentanyl, like, problem, opioid problem in our country.
It's almost
Weird.
It's almost like this is kind of believable.
Weird. Yeah. You know what? See, because I believe in what I just said, but I
Right.
don't believe. I mean, when you look at things the way that you're talking about, you
Yeah.
start to see some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So America goes to war in Vietnam,
Mm-hmm.
and then the plan was ready to
Bauxite.
go. And so we have the ground assault on Vietnam, but while that's happening, we're scrounging up that sweet, sweet bauxite aluminum, baby.
When? It's like 18 and 19-year-olds pooping themselves like in the jungle. Like, whoa, what was that?
That's just what the mainstream media wants you to think it was.
Sure. Hey, Oliver Stone, can you make a movie? Hey, Stanley Kubrick, can you make a Hey, every single director ever, can you make a movie about the Vietnam conflict that features drugs and or violence?
But in reality, it's about aluminum. Think about it.
Sure.
I had you for
Hey,
so
we
long.
gotta get that bauxite stuff there. Well, as soon as I get done getting shot at, I mean,
Again, I
from
think
I don't know where because we're in
You-
the jungle.
I think you're blowing this out of proportion. I think you listen too much to the mainstream media, the lamestream media. That's your problem.
You are fake news.
liar. You're fake.
Okay.
We gotta. We're gonna steer clear from Trump because.
Oh yeah, of course. No, but yes.
Oh, he'll get his. Originally the first episode was going to be Epstein didn't kill himself. But
He didn't.
we will do that episode.
That's like one of the.
That's a lot of, because we got to do Lolita Express and Pedophile
Man,
Island.
yeah,
it's a whole thing.
Oh, man.
That's like a
Yeah,
3 or 4
yeah,
episode arc.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
yeah,
no, I wanted to start with something that not many people knew about.
Here's a preview of that episode. Hey, before he killed himself, quote unquote, in air quotes, I was like, man, he's totally going to die after they had him in custody. I totally
Yeah.
knew that. I knew he was going to die. I knew it. Then he died. And it was like, oh, he killed himself. And it's like, no, he freaking didn't. That's a preview of that episode.
Yeah, pretty much what would happen with that. But I
I mean,
can't.
come
Wait,
on.
it's going to be a fun episode.
Oh, yeah. But back to the Vietnam War and bauxite.
Yes.
So it was a cover up, and what you're saying is that instead of the actual the mounds and reams of historical data that prove that the Vietnam War was exactly like they portray it, well, not exactly, but a lot like they portray it in movies.
I mean, yeah.
It was a cover up.
I think you're underestimating
I don't think so.
the power of the U.S. government. When they want something done, they will get it done. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That was the funniest thing you've ever said. Hey, the power of the U.S. when they want to get something done, they'll get it done.
It's a good joke, right?
Well, when they come back from vacation again.
I told you it was a good joke.
It's great.
Solid joke.
That was almost as good a joke as this one. You know how you know you're poor?
I don't know.
You have to borrow a quarter to scratch your lottery ticket.
That happened to you? Speaking from life experience. You can talk about that all you want, but what I'm concerned with
nuanced. Anyway, yes.
is giving people the truth.
Okay, so bauxite.
America's getting involved with Vietnam. There's the ground war going on, but we
Mhm.
all know what's really happening is they're there to get the aluminum.
Sure.
And after they
We need to
obtained,
recycle these cans.
after
Okay.
they obtained the aluminum, they shipped them through underground fallout shelters, and this would explain the escalation in the Cold War and the fear of nuclear war. It all goes back to the birds.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm holding my hand over my eye. You know how, have you ever just been exasperated and just exhausted, and you just do this? You take your glasses off and you just lean against the table with your hand. That's what I'm doing right now, because as we get more and more into this, the dumber it sounds. But please, more holes, please. This went from Kojak to Swiss.
You were kind of behind it for a minute. When they first introduced the aluminum,
Sure.
you were really believing that.
Well, then you screwed it all up by saying the government would get stuff done.
So, in order to keep people responsible
Yes.
for assembling the robot Birds Quiet, they dosed them with LSD. So this way, they can't snitch and say,
Wait, can't snitch? Is that what you said? Can't
yeah, so that's how they kept the secret of the birds. They kept dosing them with LSD. Tyler's losing his mind.
Oh, that is awesome. Oh, man. Dude, so how was your trip? Oh, dude, I made 1,000 robot birds. Oh,
What?
crap. I'm not supposed to say it.
Dude. I was going to say,
Dude, what happened to my friend is dead. What? Those bullets came from nowhere. Hey, somebody just shot that guy who was really mourning over his dead friend. Somebody shot that guy
Why
that
is it
just
turning into a massacre?
witnesses, man.
Murders all these people.
Hey, you know what we got to do is take water balloons filled with liquid acid and just drop them on people, man.
Yeah, fuck this whole bird thing.
But please continue with your... I'm not laughing at Jake, ladies and gentlemen. I'm laughing at Jake just looks this stuff up. He didn't make this stuff up.
No, I wish I did.
So please, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing near you.
But you're looking at me when you laugh, so I mean it's...
No, but this stuff is okay. But please, okay. So
So
LSD,
we're almost done with the act of extermination.
if you would okay, let's keep with the flow of the show.
So here we go. They were tripping balls so hard they couldn't remember anything. This is
I can see
why.
that.
This is why nobody spoke out about it.
Well, no, because that's the whole point of tripping. Is like, dude, you know, I saw the Sistine Chapel in my
but
underwear.
People also say, "Were you on drugs?" And then it gets dismissed because they're like, "You're high, you're a hippie." They all just because this is also around flower power stuff, and you have to think that authority figures are gonna think, "Hey, they're just freaking hippies, man."
Well, hippies do suck.
Birds as robots? That's silly.
Hippies
Who would
are
think
almost
that?
as terrible, dirty, filthy creatures as birds are.
Jeez. Not our hippie listeners.
God, I hate hippies.
What do you have against hippies, man?
Well, it's a term for
Why don't you free love?
hippie is a term for a movement that was in the 60s, okay? And all those assholes that were like, free love, man, they created the hellish economic landscape that you live in today.
Jesus.
Once they got
We're talking
like,
about birds,
money.
Tyler.
Yeah. Continue, please. See, you asked me.
Birdsaren'treal.com is full.
It's 2020 and I'm a hippie. No, you're not. Okay, sorry.
So now we fast forward to present day, where
Yes.
we are now.
2020.
Birdsaren'treal.com is a fully operational website. One that
It works, folks.
One that was even the primary source for this episode. Cool. Not only does it have a manifesto, but it also has a store.
I'm a big fan of manifestos.
Yeah. I condensed a lot of it. There was a lot more to it, but
Don't doubt it.
I wanted to keep it simple and light for a first episode.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, there's also a store. You can buy some T-shirts. Get a sticker with your T-shirts. Your birds aren't real. All there for you to show support for the, quote, movement, the air quotes. There's also a Birds Aren't Real YouTube channel where this gem of a clip exists.
All right, maybe you've seen the billboard near the Highland
Yeah, they
Strip
have a
or
billboard,
heard the
by the
story
way.
on Wednesdays Live at 9. A campaign called Birds Are Not Real brings its efforts to the Mid-South.
And this morning, we are joined by one of the messengers of the movement. Peter McIndoe is here to tell us how this all came about. We want to emphasize you were not the founder.
No, ma'am.
Oh, no.
So how did you become aware of it? What is the message of the movement?
The message of the movement is essentially to spread awareness that from 1959 through 2001, the government mercilessly genocided over 12 billion birds and simultaneously replaced them with surveillance drones in disguise that film us every day as equally as these cameras are filming us right now.
So what do you have to back that up?
To back that up, I have as much evidence
I'm really
as
lonely,
the
Bob.
birds have
Oh,
provided.
man, it gets
There's
better.
so
It
much.
gets so much better.
So this is really satire. I mean, you don't really believe that happened, correct? This is a satirical campaign to make the point that what? You're looking at me like, no, it's not satire. I really do believe this.
Honestly, it's kind of offensive.
So it's not satire.
I don't think you would say that if I said birds are real. You know, I don't know why the other side of the argument can't be treated with equal respect.
Except that before we came out on air, you said this is a satirical message. So what is
I never said that.
So what point are you trying to make here? I mean, and why did this movement come about and how?
Well, this movement came about in 1976.
Sure.
Just to avoid any, liberal media hit job. This didn't start with me. This started in 1976 when whispering
This is like a
started coming
4-minute
about
clip.
from
I
the White
kind of want to
House
just play the whole thing.
saying that birds were in the process of being murdered on a mass level. When this started coming about, that's when the movement began. This movement is reactionary. We really didn't start this. The government started this.
How come it took so long to get billboards up and for any of us to hear about this?
That's an excellent question.
She has
so really before the internet age, before the internet era, it was very easy
Skepticism in
to
her voice
censor
is
ideas
just
and
gold.
opinions popular that people don't agree with.
the message.
Now that we have the internet, there are no more book burnings. There are no more
so that was a real segment that happened on a local news station, and that guy was so funny.
I have no doubt that he told them it was satirical so that he could get on
Well,
the
here's
air.
the thing, Tyler.
I have no doubt. And then they were like, oh, you dick.
This is complete.
You dick.
This is just the truth, okay? I don't want to jump to conclusions, but
The skepticism
this is all bullshit.
in the
by the way.
female host was just classic. Just dripping off her words like syrup dripping off a stack of pancakes, man. It was awesome.
When I was doing the research for this, I found that video. And that was
it's kind
the
of
moment,
offensive.
That is the moment when I realized it's all bullshit. This is satire. This guy is in on it. He clearly had a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And if you read all of what's written about it on their website, it is just beautiful satirical writing.
Awesome.
Because as I was explaining it to you, it was making some sense. And then it jumps into the Cold War stuff and all this stuff. But yeah, this is conspiracy satire, and it's really good. And I think the biggest indication was obviously that interview clip. I almost forgot about this clip, and I want to play this for you. And I don't think it's going to be as long as the other clip, but this is another reason why I could tell that this is satire.
I shall resign the
That's
presidency
Richard Nixon.
effective at noon tomorrow.
We all remember where we were when that happened. But what if I told you that something far greater was at play in this very moment? A saga of government corruption so entrenched in our society that to expose it would make Watergate a mere footnote in the pages of history.
For the last few years, my team and I have been
1987
investigating the
commercial.
biggest crime ever perpetrated on the American people.
Since the Eisenhower administration, the U.S. government has been committing genocide on the entire bird population and replacing these birds with sophisticated robot replicas, equipped with 5-megapixel cameras and a sophisticated tracking system that can follow your every movement. I know this is horrifying, but please remember, stay calm. It is estimated that by 2001, 90% of the birds that we see in the sky will actually be surveillance robots. We must act now to prevent this from going any further.
Yeah,
Join
it's
us,
like an ad
and together we can make
campaign,
1987 the
like
year that we take back our freedom.
Like a war room for an ad campaign. So yeah, that's the other clip I wanted to play that really kind of put it in perspective. Like, okay, this is just a big joke.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I read the manifesto part of it, I was like, oh, okay, this guy's just messing with people.
Mm-hmm.
But it really says a lot because it's cleverly written. It's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just some silly idea some guy probably thought up doing what we were doing, listening to Coast to Coast AM or like InfoWars, like an Alex Jones meme video or something. And he was like, you know what, I'm going to make up my own conspiracy.
Yeah.
Which I got to give him credit for. I think it's funny. It's great. And
it certainly isn't. It certainly is unique. I mean, the idea, like, I if you're gonna sit down and go, what's the craziest conspiracy theory that I could come up with, like that I know is not real, and then I'm just making up out of whole cloth. Honestly, birds are not real, and they've been replaced by drones is pretty good.
And the funny thing is,
It's right up there with fluoride controls your mind.
when the gay bomb. I'm sure we'll talk about gay frogs and Alex Jones at some point, but the part where it talks about going to Vietnam, getting involved with Vietnam for the aluminum, that's when I was really, because there's a lot of other silly stuff that was in the thing, but that was the one where I was like, that's great. That makes so much sense. Well, we got involved with that, and then with that aluminum, the Russians wanted it, and that's why the Cold War started. It's like, just everything in American history is connected to the fact that this guy is like, these are made to surveil us. They're not real birds. So I gotta give him props. It's creative. It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he got to be on local news,
that was awesome.
Is just astounding to me.
It's kind of offensive.
It was funny, man. That guy was good. I really liked him a lot.
When I'm really on, like, I can do like straight face stuff like that, where like people are like clearly like about to laugh at you.
Yeah.
Not when I'm hanging out with you.
No, I can't either.
After like 2 or 3 minutes, then it's like, okay, now I'm just laughing at everything because it's funny.
It inspires me. I was like, I kind of want to write I hope at the end of this show, or maybe in the middle of this show, I don't know. But Tinfoil Radio needs to make up their own conspiracy theory.
Oh boy.
And I will do it as Alex Jones. I mean, I'm just out here asking questions. Okay? And then you can, do like a Rush Limbaugh if you want.
I got a conspiracy theory for you.
Yeah, well, you should save it.
Bald guys. The reason why there's bald guys
Okay.
is because the government conducted an experiment back in the 50s to make men's dicks bigger. And it worked on it worked on a selected group of the population, okay? and kind of continued by that. But the problem with that is that it was like, well, yeah, look at that awesome wang, but all his hair is falling out. So, yeah. I'm just trying to I'm just trying to reach a segment of the population listening to this.
That's bald.
Females who are like, oh, did you hear that? His penis is really nice.
What a weird way to end the episode. That will do it for the first episode. So most episodes are going to be this short. This was just something simple, something light to, for one, get me used to it, because I've never had to do something like this before.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the reason why I wanted to make this show, because it was a challenge to me to do something outside a lot of heavy research. But I didn't want to do that for the first episode. We were going to focus on something silly and kind of set the tone. But get ready, strap in, because next week's topic, stumbling over my words, will be about one of my favorite conspiracy theories.
Okay.
Because it's probably one of the dumbest.
Are you gonna
Not
wait?
as bad as birds aren't real.
Are you gonna wait to tell me so that I don't do like my own research?
Do you want to do your own research?
I can.
Because when I tell you the subject, you're going to want to.
Oh, okay.
The Earth is flat. That is episode
Kyrie.
number 2. If you want to do some research, be my guest. I'm all for it. But yes, episode 2 will be Flat Earth.
We have more flat Earth, people around the globe than ever before.
It's that level of comedy will be in the next episode.
Listen to what I said.
So when
that wasn't funny. Wait,
when we
write it down. It'll be. Never mind. Oh, I get it. I read it on a piece of paper.
Will you let me outro the show? All right. Anyway, if you want to get this show, you can get it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Pretty much anywhere you get podcasts around the globe. Not NPR. I don't think they have their own website. They should.
I'm banned from NPR.
How'd you get banned from NPR?
For saying fuck.
For real?
No. I have been fined by the FCC, though.
Did you say fuck?
No. No, it was when I was a telemarketer. I got fined by the FCC.
Why?
Because I can't remember, but I did something bad. I said something bad or something. Like, ooh!
Yeah, you're doing a lot of stuff that works really well for a podcast, pal.
I'm just trying to make you laugh, man.
Great
fuck about these people.
So with that, we will end it, the first episode.
You made it through, you sucker! No, just kidding.
Of Tinfoil Radio. And remember, if you're hearing this transmission, we're already dead.
What is my problem?